Welcome back, guys. Welcome to the Screen Squad. Today, talking about The Penguin. If you haven't watched it, season premiere just aired HBO Max. If you love Robert Pattinson's The Batman, or Matt Reeves' The Batman starring Robert Pattinson, and you already know about Oz Cobb being a character and his rise to power, then you should know to watch this show. And right off the bat, I just want to say this was the best Batman product that didn't have Batman in it. And there's only been one episode. I hope they build off of that momentum each and every week as this show unfolds and we get led into the Batman Part 2. Spend some time, but I think they're just trying to work on it and get everything absolutely perfect so that there is no discrepancies and no issues as far as what people like. We all know the Batman ended with Gotham City ravaged by flooding thanks to the Riddler and his goons. And now the Penguin is picking up just a couple weeks later, right in the middle of all the wreckage. There's news broadcasts talking of a power vacuum in Gotham's organized crime scene following the death of Carmine Falcone in The Batman. And this is all opening up a narrow window of opportunity that Oswald Cobb will have to fit his ginormous figure through if he wants to take what he feels is rightfully his. And about the name change real quick, we all know the Penguin's actual name is Oswald Cobblepot, but they changed it for this. It's Oz Cobb. I don't mind it. It sounds a little odd, but at the same time, I think it just adds a sense of a more grounded universe to, I mean, it's not a complete name change, it's just shortening it, which I don't see a problem with. And with the stage now set, it's time for the Penguin guy and the Penguin the show to and the events of the Batman while sustaining what made the film so moody and captivating. And they do so to great effect, only hampered by a clearly smaller budget. Like, the wide shots of Gotham in this don't hit the same when the eyes are drawn towards obvious CGI buildings and street signs. And seeing Gotham by daylight doesn't help much either, with much more of the After Hours episode, which is the premiere, showcasing the city during the day than the Batman ever did. But what matters is that the continuity between the movie and the series feels severely intact. Thankfully, it does, supported by the noir-style direction of Kirk Zobel, and the thrilling, understated score of Mick Giacchino, the son of Michael Giacchino, who scored The Batman. Going into the premiere, I, along with everybody else, assumed the Penguin would share a lot of its DNA with The Sopranos, and it certainly does. With all the brutal crime, the sweaty guys, the sex workers, New Jersey accents, and mommy issues packed into the premiere, there's obviously a ton of inspiration coming from the classic HBO series. You can just feel it. But I was kind of surprised by how much it reminded me of another popular franchise from the premium cable channel, Game of Thrones, and all the current and future spin-offs they got planned. With its shaky loyalties, big reveals, and the one person who thinks they were born to rule, it may not prove to be as high quality as Game of Thrones. But from the first episode, the Penguin sets the pins in place and swiftly, and I mean swiftly, rolls the ball down the lane by the end. Placing those pins up is a lot of work, with character and storyline introductions for Oz, Victor Aguilar, played by Renzi Feliz, which, dude, the dynamic between Oz and Vic, perfect. Like, from the moment they met, when Vic was trying to steal the rims off of Oz's car, that full interaction leading to him being like, all right, you don't want to die, you do everything I tell you. And he does, to a T. Sofia Falcone played immaculately by Christine Milioti. Oh my God, like, every scene she was in, I was captivated. Her performance as Sofia Falcone, untouchable. She's a psychopath. Like, honestly, she makes it look like he's the best person in the world, even though we know down the line what the Penguin is responsible for. And there's some other member of the Falcone family members whose names will definitely be tough to keep track of. After Hours might be a little overstuffed, but it definitely never feels boring. There isn't a character introduced that I don't want to know more about. Surprising no one, it also allows for a lot more time with Oswald Cobb, where Colin Farrell only saw a few spectacular moments of screen time in the Batman. Despite the hours in the makeup chair, those scant scenes required, now that he's in it for the long haul, he's able to sink more deeply into the prosthetics. Colin Farrell truly personifies this character now. It's amazing to watch the emotions and mannerisms he's able to convey through all that. So the torture scene at the end of the episode is particularly impressive because of its display of both acting and hair and makeup craft. Not just because it's the one moment where we get a full bodysuit of Oz, but the barbed wire used to torture him with cuts through his armpit with an unsettling amount of realism. It's horror movie levels of impressive. After Hours is an episode with a lot of violence, both physical and emotional. It made all the more harrowing as we watch it play out through the eyes of our on-screen surrogate. Vic, not based on any comic book character, Vic the most freedom of anyone in the entire series to chart his own course. And so far, he's like a mobster Harry Potter. A lower-class newcomer into this life of crime with a natural penchant for it. He's an endearing character, which means if there are more notes being taken from Game of Thrones, he's in for some hard times. Getting back to Sofia Falcone, she's a force all around. And methodical, calculated juxtaposition to Oz's more wild and frenetic style of problem-solving and leadership. The casting of Christine Milioti, whom you might know from Palm Springs, Black Mirror's USS Callister episode, or the final seasons of How I Met Your Mother, she's pitch perfect. She does the subdued, crazy, waiting to erupt very, very well. And episode 1 only teases what that eruption could look like. The premiere of The Penguin definitely recaptures the melancholy atmosphere of the Batman while drawing out more of what made Colin Farrell's portrayal of Oz Cobb so captivating. And it truly promises to expand on those qualities even further. Its TV-sized budget is noticeable, but doesn't detract from the well-plotted introduction to this behind-the-scenes look at the mobster families of Gotham City and the rise of Oz Cobb. There's another thing I wanted to note, that it seems that all of this could potentially lead to the Court of Owls making an appearance either in Batman 2, 3, or future projects. Hopefully, they're the big bad overall in this whole show, or movie, universe, whatever you want to call it. But with the Penguin's name now being Oz Cobb, there's hints of what they could do as far as other characters by the name of William Cobb. And if anybody knows who William Cobb is, or doesn't know, he is one of the many names to take on the mantle of Talon, assassin for the Court of Owls. So where's the owl mask? Could that potentially be done down the line, making William Cobb related to Oz Cobb, but he's Talon? I love this universe so much. I love what Matt Reeves has done with the Batman. I love what he's doing with the Penguin. And side note, Matt Reeves didn't direct a single episode of the Penguin. He's been balls to the wall busy doing Batman Part 2, which we do now officially know this leads into it. So however this ends, or whatever time period this ends, should be around November, end of October, mid-November time in the show. Like, the setting of the show when the show ends should be about like November-ish. And they've confirmed that the Batman Part 2 will follow that almost immediately. So we will probably get winter. And there's so many stories they could do with Gotham City and the Batman in the wintertime. Now, I don't know about you, but when I hear Batman in the snow, it makes me want Mr. Freeze all the more. I think a new version of Mr. Freeze in this grounded universe could be done exceptionally well. I don't know how they would make him more realistic as far as his tech and all that, but I'm here for it. Whatever happens in the next movie, I'm convinced with how long it's taken them to try and get it right, that it's got to be done right. I have high hopes. And so should you. After watching this premiere episode of The Penguin, I am so excited for the rest of the show. I am so beyond ready to see what else happens. But I will be doing weekly episodic reviews for this show. It comes out every Sunday, I believe. So we got that going for us. We're back with the weekly reviews. With that being said, I'm Kev with the Screen Squad telling you to come stick around, watch this video, watch the next video. Leave a like or a comment down below. Subscribe to see what else we got going on. Just loving what I'm doing. I'm loving that y'all are here with me for this ride. So thank you for everything, and I'll see you next week.